You did it. You made it to the end of January. And I know it wasn't easy getting here, but I still celebrate you because you did it. And honestly, no one truly knows what it took for you to do it and to make it this far. But once again, you did it. You made it look effortlessly. But we all know looks can be deceiving. While everyone sees you holding it together, very few people, if any, really know that last night you cried yourself to sleep because the load you're carrying is heavy. Matter of fact, it's unbearable. People don't see behind the scenes. They don't know that the load you carry is something that they couldn't even imagine. But you still press through. Girl, that's strength. And that's resilience. And I get it. I know all about resilience. Resilience is not bouncing back, it's bouncing forward. So today, I'm here to sprinkle a little sunshine on your soul and be a breath of fresh air in your world to remind you to keep going. You got this. So if you could use a little bit of encouragement, stay with me because we're going to overcome overwhelm together. Welcome to Time to Win podcast, where healing and growth collide with purpose, and you get to heal, grow, and prosper. I'm your host, RJ Jackson. Join me as we take a graceful 90-degree turn from stress and struggling to purpose and prosperity. As a professional impact speaker and mindset coach, I'm here to show you the way out of secretly suffering in silence and help you get back on the path of prosperity. So if you're ready, let's make that shift. It's time to win, my friend. Hello, comeback champions, and welcome back to Time to Win podcast. And if this is your first time, we are delighted that you've joined us. I'm RJ Jackson, also known as the Courage Giver, the speaker for your next event, and your mindset coach and host for today. Here to help you get through what you're going through and to remind you that you are not alone. As women, we often worry about the weight on our hips, the way we look when we look in the mirror, and we're often concerned about being good enough. But it's not the weight on our hips that's quietly holding us back. It's the weight on our heart, the constant emotional toll we're carrying, the endless thinking, worrying, planning, decision making. Calgon, take me away. We're juggling so many roles, whether it's being a wife, a mother, a boss, a friend, a colleague. We're doing it all. And somehow thinking we have to keep a smile on our face through it all. But let's face it, that takes a serious toll on us. And for many women, and you might be one of them, you're at your wits' end. You're stressed out, burnt out, overwhelmed, already ready to quit, and we're just at the end of January. Can you relate? If you're picking up what I'm putting down, keep listening because we're going to lighten the load. Why? Because you deserve peace. We all do. We deserve clarity. We deserve to feel alive. We deserve to live out the plans that God has for us. The burdens women bear alone, well, that's something we rarely talk about, if we even talk about it at all. Now, we hear a lot about burnout. Matter of fact, that's what I talk about, burnout. But really, it's the invisible weight we carry every day that causes us to burn out. It's that mental load of endless tasks and juggling responsibility and making decisions and the never ending list of things to do. The weight we're carrying isn't just on the things to do list, it's in our hearts and our minds where the pressure really builds up. And if we don't recognize it, it's impossible to start addressing it. So, here's what I want to do today. I want us to be bold and I want us to talk about it. Let's admit the heavy load that we carry and let's talk about it together so we can lighten the load. And today I want to share with you, as we have this conversation, 3 intentional keys that will help you unlock the freedom you deserve and lighten your load. So you're being more intentional with your time, your money, your resources, and in your relationships. All right, so let's dive into the first intentional key that I want to share with you. It's important that we acknowledge the weight we're carrying and stop pretending everything is fine. How are you today? Fine. How's it going? Great. We don't have to be negative, but we should be willing to be vulnerable and honest with people in our immediate circle who care to see us win. You see, the weight we carry doesn't always show up on the outside, but it shows up in how we feel. We all know the drill, right? We feel the need to keep it all together, to put on a brave face and to smile even when we're drowning inside. Whether it's from running a household, managing a job, or dealing with a relationship, we carry a load that no one else sees. But it's not just about checking things off our list. It's the constant emotional work we do. We're carrying the weight. It's okay to say, "Ooh, girl, the load is heavy, but I'm working my courage muscle," or "I'm working my asking muscle because I'm asking for help. I'm admitting I can't do this by myself." I called a friend the other day myself, and they said, "So how you doing?" I said, "I'm doing good, but I have a confession." They were like, "Well, what's your confession?" And I said, "I can't do this by myself. I need help." Because I believe we're created for connection. And I had to be willing to admit that. And you know, the truth of the matter is, the person didn't say, "Okay, here's this and here's that and here's what you need." Nope. They listened. And that was good enough. Sometimes we feel like, I don't want to share because I don't want to be a burden. We share because we want to unload the burden off of us, but that doesn't mean the other person's going to pick it up. It just means that we have someone who cares enough to see us win and they will listen. But they don't have anything to listen to if we don't acknowledge where we truly are. So I want you to know it's okay to admit that your load is heavy. That doesn't mean you're complaining. It doesn't mean you're whining or crying. It just means you're being vulnerable and honest. You can do it. There's so much freedom in being honest because you don't have to pretend. You don't have to hold on to something that doesn't exist. And being free is the key. All right, so thinking of keys, let's go to key number 2, which is to let go of trying to be everything to everyone. Let it go. It's not your job. You're not the savior. You know, I think we've all been there trying to meet everybody's expectations, whether it's our kids, our partner, our boss, our friends, people we don't even know. We end up stretching ourselves so thin, trying to make everyone else happy that we forget about ourselves. The reality is, we don't have to be everything to everyone. We don't need to prove our worth by being the superhero of nobody's life, not even our own. Sometimes the weight we're carrying is trying to keep everyone satisfied, and it's draining us. Like Roberta Flack says, it's killing us softly. And really, it's time that we gave ourselves permission to set boundaries and say no when we need to, and say no when we don't feel like doing something, and prioritize what matters most. Because if we just say no when we need to, we'll never say no because we always feel like we got to say yes. No, we don't. It's respectful to say no. You're respecting yourself, you're respecting other people by not participating, and you're respecting other people. Now, I'm not saying don't sacrifice, but I'm saying don't sacrifice yourself, your true feelings, to please somebody else. Don't shrink yourself, your value, what's important to you. Nah, we don't have to do that. And the way we keep from doing that, spreading ourselves so thin, is to focus on what's most important and start with our own well-being. And when you start with yourself, know this: you can't do it yourself. We need each other to survive. And so that takes me to key number 3 as we begin to wrap it up today. It's okay to ask for help. Let others carry some of the load for you. Have you ever gone to the grocery store and got groceries for the entire family, but yet when you get out the car, you're trying to carry 4 and 5 bags, but there's 3 other people with you, but you're still trying to get all the bags? Has that ever happened to you? And I don't know if you've ever done this, trying to carry all the bags, and then someone tries to help you, and you're like, I got it. I got it. It's okay. I don't need no help. Yes, you do. You need help, but you need more help with caring for yourself than you do carrying those groceries. That's why the load is so heavy, because you have this tendency to believe you got it. You don't need any help. We're created for connection to help each other. Being strong doesn't mean doing everything yourself. When we think about strength, we often imagine handling everything. I got this kind of attitude all by yourself. We feel like asking help is like a sign of weakness, but the truth is, asking for help is one of the strongest things we could do as women. As women. Why? Because we cannot do it all by ourselves. And honestly, we should not even have to. Teamwork makes the dream work. It's okay to lean on others. It's okay to delegate. It's okay to ask for support. Whether you're asking your partner to step in and get the work done, your children, your colleagues, your coworkers, we don't have to carry this emotional weight alone. And if we try, we're just setting ourselves up for burnout. You see, strength lies in knowing when to ask for help and share the load. Stop killing yourself. Stop pretending you can do everything by yourself. I had to stop. I had to realize I cannot. And you know what else? What's even more important? I do not want to. And I bet you don't either. But you have convinced yourself that you're a bother to other people if you ask for help. You have convinced yourself that the only way to get it done and get it done right is to do it yourself. We've all felt like that, and we've all been wrong. Quiet exhaustion that we feel at the end of the day, it's not just because we're running around like crazy. It's because we're carrying this weight by ourselves. It's time to lighten the load, my friend. It's not about doing less. It's about doing what matters most. And by focusing on what matters most, setting boundaries, and asking for help, we can reclaim our peace and start living out our purpose once again. I love the quote that says, the weight we carry isn't the task on our list, it's the emotional baggage we drag behind us. You know what a part of that baggage is? When we don't ask for help and then we mumble and grumble that no one's helping us. At the end of the day, instead of relaxing and unwinding, we are so exhausted, we fall asleep before we can even put our head on the pillow. Like on the way to the bed, boom, we're asleep. It's funny, but it's not. Emotional baggage will get heavy. And some of you are already saying it's already heavy, RJ. And I want you to know it doesn't have to be. You deserve rest, you deserve peace, and moments of stillness. Your value is not in how much you can give, but in simply being who you are. I want to encourage you to take small steps to unload some of the weight that you're carrying. And when you do, it doesn't mean that you're failing. It means that you're choosing to be alive and be well and prioritize your well being. And it's time. It's time to put your mental and emotional health first. Because when you do, you can show up fully for everything else. You don't have to be perfect, my friend. You don't have to be constantly strong. As a matter of fact, the burden isn't yours to carry alone. It's okay to lean on others. And while you're leaning, lean on God, because He's always there and strong enough to handle whatever it is you're going through. There's always going to be a juggle. There's always going to be things for us to do. There's always going to be a list, and it'll probably always be long. But remember this, you don't have to do it alone. If you found yourself lately doing life alone and you're tired of being by yourself, you're tired of having to figure out everything alone, you're tired of feeling like no one cares, come join the Comeback Queen Club. We'd love to get underneath you and lift you up. In the meantime and in between time, we want to invite you to stay connected. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so. Our records show that you are listening, but you haven't subscribed. Please take a moment and click the subscribe button. And when you do, be sure to get notification as well. And don't forget, go tell somebody. Tell a sister that you care about. You want to see her win. And so you're inviting her to listen in to the Time to Win podcast with your host, RJ Jackson, the Courage Giver. And if you've missed an episode, go back and check it out. You'll be glad that you did. And don't forget, let us know how we're doing. Leave a comment and share your thoughts with us. Let us know what you'd like to hear about, where you're struggling, and how we can help you get through what you're going through. You've made it this far, my friend, and I am so proud of you. There's so much more. There's so much more to come, and we're here to help you get it done. So stay connected, and we'll see you soon on the other side of fear, because that's where burnout cannot survive. Bye for now. Thank you for listening to Time to Win. I recognize that you appreciate the value provided in today's episode, and for your gratitude, I'm giving you a Time to Win VIP listener badge. So head on over to timetowinpodcast.com. That's timetowinpodcast.com and claim your badge and gain immediate VIP access to more of our next level resources and opportunities. Because you've enjoyed today's session, you can also express your gratitude by rating, reviewing, and returning next week with a friend. Oh, by the way, be sure to screenshot today's episode and share it in your Instagram and Facebook story or on your favorite social media platform. We'll look forward to seeing you again next week in the locker room of life, here on Time to Win. And remember, the best time to win is now.